gentlemen, welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Falakzeeb Khan, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry heavyweight on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Subramanian Hariharan. Hello, welcome, Mr. Hariharan. We are glad to have you here today with us on FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So let me give you a quick brief about Mr. Subramanian Hariharan. He is a distinguished senior technology and management executive and a seasoned professional with an exceptional track record spanning over 2.5 decades in the realm of software development and management. Renowned for his extensive expertise in BFSI engagements, he possesses a remarkable entrepreneurial mindset and an impressive career trajectory. His multifaceted journey encompasses pivotal roles such as Chief Technology Officer, Delivery Head, Center Manager, and Product Management, all characterized by a resounding success story in creating value for the organizations he has served. At present, he is serving Indium Software, Chennai, in the capacity of Vice President, overseeing its cloud engineering, a facet of its app engineering solution architecture. So, Mr. Subramaniam, could you describe your journey from your educational background to your current role as Vice President of Cloud Engineering and Solution Architecture at Indium Software, and what key experiences or turning points have shaped your career path?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Let me start off by saying that I'm a through and through Chennai born, Chennai raised person. I did my schooling in Chennai and then went on to do my undergraduation at IIT Roorkee. From there, I went on to do my master's at the University of Houston. Then also did my MBA from Arizona State University, and started out my career with the services industry in the software services side, and gradually moved on to product development as well. So let me start off with what I've been doing in the last 26 years of my career. So I started off with the services industry, have worked in varied domains, including BFSI, as you had already mentioned. I've also worked in very marquee domains like creating auction engines for the industrial machinery. I've worked in the e-commerce side. I've worked in the education side. So starting out with my career, I started off with a services company in Chennai, and then moved on to a product company in the US. I was there for about 4.5 years, working on a product company in the warehouse management side of things. Then moved back to Chennai, and have been moving between services and product companies, because although the services companies give you the flexibility to work with multiple domains, right? You can work in the BFSI sector, or the next project might be from the manufacturing sector or from the insurance, etc. But from a product perspective, it's more focused, right? You already have a product, you know the roadmap, you know what it's going to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, where you're going to be. So it gives you more focus and lets you work on very specific technology initiatives for the product. So these are two very different industries within the software industry, but then I have experience working with both of them. Coming back to my focus on the domain sector, as you already pointed out, I've predominantly worked on the BFSI sector, which includes banking and insurance and other financial sectors, typically either doing services for the financial sector or building products on the BFSI market. So this has been my forte in the last 26 years of my career. I also got my project management professional certificate when I started with moving into more managerial roles. And of late, I've been working on the cloud front, doing more of cloud engineering. So I also got myself certified as a AWS Solution Architect Associate. So that has been me. So whenever I move on to a new facet of my role, I try to get certified, I learn a lot about what I'm doing, so that I make sure that I'm more useful to the team, not just as a manager, as a senior manager, but also as a contributor to the team. So that's me. Right from starting off with the low code, where you don't do much of coding, it's a fourth generation language. I've moved on to the Microsoft technology stack. I've also worked on open source technology stack like Java, Perl, PHP, etc. And of late, as I already mentioned, I've moved to the cloud engineering domain, right? From a technology perspective. So coming back to the question of what has shaped my thinking, right? During the course of my journey in this last 26 years, I think what has really shaped my thinking is the interaction with the clients, right? So what I've seen is that I've moved, it's my personal feeling that I have graduated from being a technologist to being more of a solutionist, right? Which means that when in the early phase of your career, you're learning new things, you're learning new technology, you're so excited about the new technology, you want to try those out in the products or in the software that you're building, that you kind of lose sight of what the client actually wants. Let me give an example to you, right? When I was working for a cash and carry business for one of the products in the US, we were so excited about solving a problem. The cash and carry business takes care of millions of SKUs, right? Which means that on a daily basis, there are several thousand transactions happening in one warehouse. And every order entry clerk actually has to bill about 1,000 invoices, or 1,000 order entries is what they create on a daily basis. So we are very happy to create a product which actually gives them hundreds of bits of information about a product that they're actually keying in, right? For instance, let's say a crate of Pepsi is what they are selling to a customer. So we give them information about how much of the SKUs are already available in the warehouse, how many are coming in, and what is the price, what was the price last week versus this, how much of profit they're making, all that. So we were so excited about giving them so much information about a particular product that they're selling that we actually lost sight of what the operator was actually doing. So when we went to the site and asked the operator, just randomly picked up an operator and said, "Hey, how do you like our new software?" She said, "No, I'm not really happy." And we said, like, why not? She said, "No, see, I'm an order entry person, right? It's for me, speed is the essence of things. I need to make sure that I'm able to service maximum number of clients in my terminal. I don't care how many SKUs are left in the warehouse." So that was a big revelation for me to start thinking like the end client, or the person who's actually using your software, making sure that you are in line with what they want, what their expectations are from a product. So I think that is a key learning I think many people are lacking in the software industry, so to speak.
So indeed, I must say a very interesting and a great career journey so far. So as someone with an extensive experience in BFSI engagement, can you share some of the most significant challenges you have encountered in this domain and how you have addressed them?
The banking industry is probably one of the oldest industries, right? Or so to speak, it predates the technology by several millennia. It started off with a barter system. There's a transaction. Always men have been transacting. They want to buy things, and the commerce industry has been growing since then. So accounting was something that was created, a process that was created to regulate the transactions, etc. So that is now being supported by technology, I would say. Now, technology is not creating your banks. Banks are already there. Technology is just supporting what the banking industry wants. So what I've seen as a BFSI, we used to go to the bank for if you need to withdraw cash, or if you want to update your passbook, you need to go to the bank. But now everything can be done in your mobile. So that is how technology has progressed the BFSI sector. And of course, it's not a sector which does not have its own challenges, right? There are so many regulatory changes that are coming up on a daily basis. So this is something that I've seen as a CTO of a fintech company which I was managing a few years ago. And on a daily basis, we used to have so many changes coming up, and it was always a challenge to keep track of these changes and make sure that our software is able to provide the latest in terms of regulatory compliances to our clients. Because when a client is using our software, it is our liability, right? We have to make sure that the compliance is there from our product side. So that is one thing that which I've seen as a very challenging aspect from a product perspective. Somebody who's delivering the services or creating a product for the BFSI sector. The second one, of course, I would say is the security aspect. Clients are always, if you say banks, right? Banks or financial institutes are your clients, and they are very, very afraid of losing data. Right? There's so much of cyber security issues that you see, so many news that you see. There is breaches. There are so many ransomware attacks that's going on in financial institutes or big institutes where they basically hijack your data. So you would have heard that data. So there's so much of data being generated on a daily basis because so many people have now started using the digital applications, the mobile applications, etc. There is so much of data about each client, each of his accounts, each of his transactions. Right? It could have been a transaction 5 years ago, but if they get any knowledge about what you did 5 years ago, they know what assets you have right now. Right? So that is the kind of inferences that you can now gather from data that you've collected. And with the advent of AI and ML and IoT and all your newest technologies, it's very easy to gather information from data that you collect or the data that is breached and it is collected. So to combat these two, what I've seen is that a product company needs to be nimble. Make sure that you have SMEs who are really thorough about what are the changes that are coming up on a regular basis from a regulatory standpoint. Make sure that your software is not monolithic. It is not something that is you build and it's very difficult to change. It has to be very loosely coupled so that you can quickly remove a module, put another module back, or change some code and then push it to production very quickly after testing. So that is one of the things. The other one is, of course, security is everyone's concern. It's not just the product developer, it's also the client's concern, right? The way they use it. If they have passwords which are easily hackable, then you can't do much even if your software is very, very secure. And of course, the product companies needs to make sure that the security, all the latest security frameworks are in place. Now you see, so many cloud providers are giving automatic security. There are so many security services that come with the cloud services. Right? So that is one thing I've seen a lot in my career. Earlier, 20 years ago, banks never wanted to be on the cloud. They used to say, no, I cannot share my data with somebody else. If it's on the cloud, the infrastructure is not in my control. It can be shared with somebody else. Somebody can have access to my data. So that concept itself has changed quite a bit now. I see a lot of banks. I've worked with quite a lot of banks, and they feel that it is the way to go. Right? Probably one of the reasons could be COVID also. Right? With COVID, the advent of COVID, we see so many people working from remote, working from home. There are clients who don't want to come to the bank. They want access to everything from their home. So everything is now moving digital. Everything has become digital, and so the processes are also moving towards that. Okay, so you would have seen eKYC being the norm. Right? You don't need to do physical signing the paper, signing your Aadhaar card copies, and giving it to the bank. Now you can all do it on the mobile phones itself. So I think there is a lot of technology is bringing a lot of revolution in this BFSI space as well.
Yes, that's there and just growing, I think, day by day. Yes. So we want to know, like, what has been your professional lifelong principle that has helped you through most, if not all, of your roles and responsibilities?
Sure. Predominantly, I would say, in fact, I advise my kids as well to be a perpetual learner, right? You need to be open to learning new things. There could be another viewpoint by somebody else, but then listen to what they're saying. Make sure that you understand where they're coming from. It could be a different point of view of the same thing. It could be the same issue, but you're seeing it differently. Somebody else is seeing it differently. Make sure that you're able to understand that and move forward. Not only that, from a technology perspective as well, I tell my team, keep updating yourself. There is so much changes happening in the technology space. If you're going to be in technology, make sure that you are updated. At my age, I've done a certification on cloud, right? Very recently. because I moved into the cloud engineering very recently,
That's
and
really
I did
great.
not.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that I'm on top of things. I want to make sure that I'm on par with the people that I'm dealing with. So that's one of my principles. Make sure that at any point of time, at any age, you're young enough to learn something new. Right? That's one thing. Second thing that I would say is that customer is key. Make sure that don't get lost in the jungle of technology. Right? Always there are technologies which can solve problems. Then look at what the customer wants. That is what is going to pay you the money. Right? The customer wants something to be built. Make sure that you're able to deliver that. Don't worry about what technology you're using, but the solution matters more than the technology, I would say, at least from my point of view. And of course, working ethically, don't cut corners, because that can bite you back at a later point of time. Just because time is short, don't cut corners. Don't avoid security audits or release audits or the process, right? Follow the process. Make sure that the process is followed. Make sure that the software is tested before you deliver it to the customer. Even if the customer says, I want it today, make sure that the process is followed. And so don't cut corners, I would say. So that's been my driving principles so far.
Wonderful, I must say, indeed. So, how and when did you develop an interest in corporate governance?
Okay. Okay. Let me. I think the corporate governance part came to me at 2 points. One is when I became a project manager. That was something out of the blue, because I was not really geared for it. I was more of a technologist. I wanted to go on the technology path, but then for some reason in my previous organization, there was a churn, and I was put in as a project manager. I was asked to do the project manager's role, manage the people, manage the schedule, manage the clients, everything, which is completely new. Okay, so at that point is when I actually started looking at things differently. Okay, so I learned as I told you. So I completed my PMP so that I can learn a lot more about what the project manager's role is all about. That's when I learned a lot about how a company actually works. What are all the facets which goes into it? It's not just development or delivery. It's about people. It is about time. When I did my PMP, that's when I actually learned a lot more about the big picture, so to speak, right? About how a company works and what is more important to a company, including cost, people, tools, processes, everything. So that's when I started thinking more about the P&L, the governance part of things, how people are managed, how people report into other people, what is the hierarchy all about, how do you segregate different teams to work in synergy. Those are the things I think I learned a lot when I became a PM. Of course, when I became a CTO and I was running a startup fintech, that's when I actually learned a lot more. Getting my hands dirty about a lot of things, about getting the infrastructure in place, getting opening up a new office, uh, making sure that the payments are made on time, the talking to clients, getting the payments from the clients. Those are the kind of things that actually make you think more like an entrepreneur and see what is really important for a company to survive. So that is probably another big jump, a quantum leap in terms of governance. That's when I started learning a lot of things, like why there is risk management is very important, right? We have to make sure that we have enough money to pay the salaries of people for the next 3 to 6 months. So those are the kind of things which actually.
So our next question to you is also on similar lines. So as a corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
Sure. I think the values that I bring are ethical leadership, stakeholder management, and of course a problem-solving mentality that comes with any entrepreneurial mentorship, or entrepreneurial leadership, right? So these are things that I've kind of eschewed myself, and even when I'm working with a project with a small team or with a larger organization, these are things that I work with. Of course, I'm also interested in the ESG initiatives, and I'm also constantly learning, educating myself on ESG, because I'm very passionate about the environment part of things. ESG, the environment part. I'm very passionate about environment because I I studied environmental engineering, and that is one thing where I think I'm very passionate about. So these are things I think I can bring into the table as a board member. Of course, my experience as a technologist is also, I think, something that will really help technology companies steer the firms in the right technology journey, so to speak.
So when we talk about technology, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? And what changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, and Web 3.2?
Sure. Of course. This is something that is always the point of discussion in any of the leadership meeting or any of the meetings that we have in terms of planning. Right? Of course, now you would have heard data is a new oil, right? Which means that data is everything. If you have data or if you have access to data, you can create information. Based on that information, you can do marketing, you can do your sales, you can do your planning based on that. So with the advent of AI, ML, LLM, all these new technologies, right? It's not very new. It's been there, but then with the advent of the technology, the background of these technologies have really matured. I would say these technologies have matured into such a beautiful space right now. Now they have started becoming mainstay applications. Right? You would have seen ChatGPT, which is something that every common man is now using. In fact, school kids are using it to create their homeworks. You would have seen. So and there are developers using that to generate code. Okay? So that is the extent to which the technology has grown. And I feel this is we are really catapulting ourselves into the next level of applications that you will see. So far, it has been bespoke applications or SaaS-based applications that we are developing. But I think in the near future, we will see the technology is mature to such a point that we will be seeing very, very drastically new applications or drastically new frameworks that are going to come up. You will see a lot more connected devices coming up. Like for instance, we have TVs which can run your Netflix and your TV content. Right now, probably you will have your other devices also connected to your TV. Maybe it's your mobile, your refrigerator, your car. Everything is going to be one connected network. That's what I'm seeing the technology migrating to. And it's going to be more of course, applications that come out will be more centric. It will be more customer centric. Okay? They will definitely see what the customer wants. Customer experience is going to be a key thing here. Unless the application is really usable, it is not going to really sell in the market. For instance, you're going to see a lot more of these. In fact, yesterday I was seeing Jio is coming up with the new glasses, just like your Google glasses. They're coming up with their own set of glasses, which will have AR and VR capability. Okay, so these are going to be the mainstay I see in the next probably 5 to 10 years.
Yes, that's there. And we just hope that technology grows in for better. Yes. Yeah. So as you know, we are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about this initiative taken about by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole World Development Corporation team?
I think it's a fantastic idea. No one man can be an island. We definitely need to work with others and make sure that you know what you know and what you don't know, and take help from somebody else who knows it better. Okay, that's going to be the simple principle, right? Whenever you have a group of people, if everybody is going to do the same thing, it's not going to help. If you have different people doing different things, it adds to the value of the group. Definitely, it's a fantastic idea. In fact, I can give you a small example from my life. Maybe about 25 years ago, when I was a research assistant at the Houston College, as I told you, I was working on a research field on the environmental science, on soil pollution. We were very close to creating a solution of soil. Let me not go into details, but then we are very close to getting into a solution for a soil, a product that will clean up polluted soil. But then we were missing a few things because there were some questions which are unanswered. And then by chance, I met another student from a bioscience department, we just got talking about what we were doing. I found out that he had a fantastic access to a new tool, okay, which a new application or an appliance which we had never known about. So we started using that, and then we were able to complete the project on time. So, of course, the reason that I'm bringing this out is because we had access to the environmental scientist groups in our department, but then none of them knew about this particular appliance, right? Because that is being completely used in a different, in a very different scenario. It is on the bioscience sector, but then we adapted it, used it for soil pollution, and then we were able to get the solutions that we needed. So, of course, coming back to your question, I think this kind of collaboration is the need of the hour.
So these have been really kind words by you, and it was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Subramanian Hariharan. We wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably has expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.